Top of the morning, top of the afternoon, top of the evening. Welcome to Book to None Bother. I am your host, Beatty. What y'all reading? Anything good? You should put it in the comments if it is. So I decided to lose myself in the collection of short stories. I usually don't do short stories, but this book is clocking in at a hefty 691 pages of goodness. And though I'm only a few stories in, each story that I've read so far has surprised me in the best way. The writing is fantastic, it's immersive. I just had to share my early thoughts because if the rest of the stories are anything like the stories that I've already read, one thing stood out to me while reading these stories. Each story that I started started out with a badass starter line. The first sentence, it pulled you in. It sets the mood, the pace, the feeling. And when it's done right, it's like stepping through the door you didn't even realize was open. Suddenly, you're not reading anymore. You're fucking in that story. That's what this book delivers. The stories that I read again and again, these stories don't wait around. The first line grabs you, pulls you in, says, sit down, you're going to take your ass a seat. And you know what? I love that. I live for that because when an author nails the beginning of a story, it tells me that they care about the journey, that they're about to take me somewhere, maybe quick, maybe deep, but always worth it, that they care. And look, I write a little bit, a little something, you know what I'm saying? And best believe I make sure that my opening line hits. It's got to. It just got to, because you don't want to start off reading a boring book. Look at this, y'all. How thick. Now, the first story, titled Carnal Knowledge, was one that stopped me in my tracks. The story's only 16 pages long, but I walked away from it thinking, wow, that was a good story. And this is days after reading this story. And then I kept thinking. I found myself continuing the story in my head, like coming up with not one, but two different ways it could have ended. Now, look, I'm not usually a short story reader, so maybe that's where the conflict lies. I know the story the author gives us is supposed to be it. Final, complete, done. But for me, it felt like it ended too soon. Not in a bad way, but more like a wait, that's it kind of way. The ending was so abrupt, and the story was so good. All right, let me explain it so therefore you can match my energy. It's like watching a good movie. You pay good money to see it, knowing you never get the chance to watch it again. And boom, the power goes out. Right before the final scene, you're left there in the dark, stunned, trying to fill in the blanks. And fill in the blanks I did, even though the author probably had zero intention of me doing that. But I couldn't help it. The story lingered in my head like an unfinished conversation I needed to finish. So, with that being said, I want to read you all a couple passages from this collection, just so you can feel what I'm talking about. These aren't going to be spoilers, just a little taste, but trust me, even a few lines, you'll get it. I had never really thought much about meat. It was there in the supermarket in a plastic wrapper. It came between slices of bread with mayo and mustard and a dill pickle on the side. It sputtered and smoked on the grill till somebody flipped it over, and then it appeared on the plate. Between the baked potato and the julienne carrots, neatly cross-hatched and floating in a puddle of red juice. Beef, mutton, pork, venison, dripping burgers, and greasy ribs. It was all the same to me. Food, the body's fuel. Something to savor, a moment on the tongue before the digestive system went to work on it. Which is not to say I was totally unconscious of the deeper implications. Every once in a while, I'd eat at home a quartered chicken, a package of shake and bake, stovetop stuffing, frozen peas. And as I hacked away at that stippled yellow skin and pink flesh of the sanitized bird, I'd wonder at the darkest bits of organ, clinging to the ribs. What was that? Liver? Kidney? But in the end, it didn't make me any less fond of Kentucky Fried Chicken or Chicken McNuggets. I saw those ads in the magazine too, the ones that show the veal calves pinned up on their own waist, their limbs atrophied, and their veins so pumped full of antibiotics they couldn't even control their bowels. But when I took a date to Anna Maria's, I could never resist the veal scampi. And then I met Elena Jurgensen. Okay, now hold up, let's talk about it. Imagine meeting someone and being into someone that you start performing. Like little things like trying to match their energy, like their interests, pretending y'all got this rare, deep connection when really you're low-key winging it. All because you want them to see you the way that you see them. And the twist is, it never stays cute. That kind of pretending never stays cute. Now, I'm not giving away any spoilers, but let me just say that those 16 pages within that story stirred something. Was it Elena and her borderline militant veganism? Or was it the narrator? The guy bending himself backward just to keep her attention? Honestly, I'm not even sure who really got under my skin even more. And that's even more interesting. We never even learn the narrator's name. He's the one telling the story. But you know what? Maybe that was the point. Maybe he didn't even know himself. Just a man playing a part, or a woman who never really saw him. And then there I go doing that thing again. Adding to the ending of the story that we were given. In my version, though, the narrator finally wakes up. He wakes the hell up. He stops bending over for this woman. He stands up for himself. He might follow Elena a little bit longer, watching her dive in head first into her vegan stunts. Or maybe he just lets her go, quietly walking away with whatever pieces of him that he has left. I don't know. In my head, he finds a little dignity, a little clarity, something the original ending just didn't fully give us. And I guess that's why I have a love-hate now I see with short stories, because this story could have continued, and to end so abruptly only makes you mad. Okay, y'all, so I want to share a couple of the opening lines to you on some of these stories. Here we go. He'd been married before, and now he's married again. I know, hey, it says something. To start off a story saying he'd been married before and now he's married again, just know that whatever comes after that, it's good. Next. I was living with a woman who suddenly began to stink. It was very difficult. The first time I confronted her, she merely smiled. Occupational hazard, she said. The next time, she curled her lip. I was just lifting glass to my lips when she stormed through the swinging doors and slapped the drink out of my hand. And this final one, I love it. There they are, the holy bugs. Widows in their weeds and fat-ankled mothers with pazeled children, all lined up before the snot green likeness of the virgin cast in plaster. Okay, now, tell me that doesn't make you want to look out the narrator's window. Like you're sitting right there with them, watching the strange little parade of life unfold. She said, there they are, the holy bugs. There they are. That tells me to look. There they are, the holy bugs. It's that there they are that pulls you in. It's like the narrator is pointing to something. They're pointing something out, and it's just for you. You're not reading anymore at that point. You're part of the scene. It's gritty, it's weird, it's specific, and I loved it. Call me a nerd, I am, I know. So I am going to be reading through the reviews from this Stories of Collections from T.C. Boyle until I finish the entire book. So expect that there will be reviews from this book. I might pick up something else and listen to it, but right now I'm like into this book. Like, it's some good reads. And I think one thing that I do enjoy about the collection of short stories, even though it gets my feelings in it and you know, it ends in it prematurely, I like the fact that if I only got maybe 30 minutes or 15 minutes, I could pick up the book and I know that I would be able to finish a story because it's almost like chapter forms. So I can dig it. All right, y'all, I'm gonna have to cut it short this week. I have a lot going on. I just lost my dog. Yeah, we got a lot going on right now, but I wanted to make sure that I got a little review in. So I want y'all to stay booked and unbothered, and I will see y'all next week.